My bad. We weren't talking about drinks.
Okay, so what happened?
So I was in a fun mood at work. I was chilling. Totally fun mood.
Somebody was having too much fun.
And customers were just ordering cocktails, just all cocktails, Sazeracs, Manhattans, martinis, very little old fashions and stuff. And one of the cocktailers put in a Belvedere rocks with a lemon twist. And I'm sitting there thinking in my head, like, wait, the Belvedere is like a Sazerac with bourbon, right? Is that the drink, yo? I'm thinking, and I could just go to my phone, double check real quick, type in Belvedere rocks cocktail. And it gets better. So then I'm reading it, I'm like, this just doesn't make any sense. I'm like, what is going on here? So finally the guy who's a friend of mine who came up, and he's the one who rang in the ticket. I said, bro, remind me again, what the fuck is a Belvedere rice? And then he said, you mean the vodka?
It's a vodka over ice.
So and the whole time I'm thinking it was a Boulevardier that they wanted in my mind, and I'm trying to figure it out, but using Belvedere, and totally just asked him that, and he just looked at me with it was almost concerned, like, you need the vodka?
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah. I hear good things. Just saying. Somebody died.
All right, welcome everybody.
Hello.
This is Safety First, and
Number 4.
I'm here with Mr. Travis Bennett.
That's me, in case you didn't know.
His Holiness Sebastian Zen.
Oh, hi, royal waves.
And we have our first guest on tonight, the one who got away, Katrina Kruger.
The one who got
Well,
away.
hello there, Mr. Drew McCoy.
Well, thank you so very much. Oh, yes. I always forget
Mr. Drew McCoy. The Drew McCoy.
I did not do it again this time.
You didn't introduce yourself.
And
you came right to me.
And as always, I'm Drew.
Mm-hmm.
So today we were talking about
audio editor.
What?
Audio editing are the many reasons why Drew is the best at it.
Oh my God.
He has a trophy in his room right now.
You know, it's really not even about editing. It's really more just herding cats.
Oh, okay.
We talked about this. I'm a lynx.
Who hurts cats?
Well, no, I like lynxes the most.
True,
apparently.
But you have to go out of your way to hurt them.
HURD, not HURT. Or is it HERD?
Yeah, God. All right.
Really though.
Herd cat.
My bad.
Herd.
I totally misheard that one.
Don't hurt the cats.
Yeah.
So yeah, today we're talking about customer service. Travis, have you ever serviced a customer before?
No, I've never done that. Depends on what your definition of service means. I have, yes, I've serviced many customers. Come on. This is a publicly known thing. I wouldn't even admit it if I did.
It's a publicly known thing that you wouldn't admit that even if you did.
I'm not snitching on myself, plain and simple. No, I've serviced many customers. And, I enjoy it, really. I do a really good job at it. But in the restaurant industry, it really kind of gets to be too much sometimes. It's a little.
So should we start with the article, or should we just start with Katrina? What do you guys think? I guess right away we have a couple updates that we need to make. You guys remember the thing at Founders? Yeah. So they just announced that they're reopening their Detroit tap room in early 2020. They had been closed since like last October or something. And they say that they're planning on donating 100% of their proceeds at least through 2020 or 2022 to like local Detroit charities.
Okay, so what's the founders thing?
Wow. Isn't that the one with the race manager?
Yes. So
Okay.
yeah, I guess.
Take it away, Seabass.
No. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Please do.
I got it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah. So.
Synopsis.
Yes. So what happened at Founders? There was an employee. He was the manager of the tap room, and he took a day off to complain to his superiors about experiencing racism at work.
Mm-hmm. I remember this. Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, that whole thing.
And so now they're giving away all their money. I mean, that's an expensive.
Well, it's
like,
two
PR
years,
thing
so
there,
it kind of seems like they're doing the right thing. So
Yeah.
good on Founders.
Also, they have that luxury to do that because they're the largest brewery in Michigan.
Yeah. That's a very interesting move there. I like it. I guess we'll see you guys 2 years down the road to see what actually happens.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see
So
how this plays out.
keep listening.
Yeah.
See you in 6 months for when it closes.
Also,
Should we get a pool going?
All right, and we
Take a
have
poll.
one more update from last week's episode, the Popeyes episode.
Nice.
So this came up in my feed yesterday that a Texas Popeyes customer caught a young boy working in a restaurant
Saw
kitchen.
that one. Yes.
So some snitch
Yeah.
took video of a kid working at a Popeyes making the goddamn chicken sandwiches
Yeah.
that are getting people
Try to
killed.
help.
Like when
Yeah.
you say kid, like
9 years old.
9 years old.
wow.
Approximation. I don't know. He looks older than that to me. The
It's a family establishment.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah,
are,
the-
what are you gonna do?
Well,
The whole family, you know?
So there is actually kind of a bit
fucking
of a point there.
anonymous snitch.
but-
Just said he looks 9 years old, but he looks a little bit older than that. Sorry, Travis. What were you gonna say?
I was saying there's actually kind of a bit of a point there. I mean, a lot of these little franchises are just people and their families, and they're
It's
trying
very
to
true.
trying to make this
You know what?
stuff work.
That's a very good point.
And
Yeah.
so if this guy is just drowning in this Popeyes chaos, you know what I'm
What else do you
saying?
do?
Like, I mean, yeah, bring the kid in, let him
Yep.
butter some damn buns. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like that's not unheard of. Like I don't
It's
understand.
not.
Like
So yeah,
But-
what happened was that corporate reached out and they fired the individual who brought their kid to.
well, whose kid was it?
to
It's-
it doesn't say
Okay.
Popeyes didn't comment.
Right.
But they said we took swift action to explore this claim with the franchisee. The restaurant owner has terminated the employee who brought their child, a minor, into the kitchen and will fully cooperate with any additional investigations in compliance with the state and federal laws.
Wow.
So
Child labor
That's also
it sounds
thing.
like the person who brought their kid to work for whatever reason was let go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
But it
believe they
doesn't-
said
But was the
fired.
kid paid? Here's the
Yeah,
thing.
was the kid
so
paid?
like,
That's
is
a good
it
question.
is it wrong if he's
Yeah.
not paid? Because I just think.
it's child labor.
But
regardless.
it is. It is.
But it's also like
That's
But
not-
also, to what extent was he just like there, like hanging out,
it's
like
sort
kind
of
of learning?
Well, what
being
Travis was
mom?
saying, it's like it's not unheard of for like family restaurants. You see kids, running
Yeah, oh,
around
absolutely,
bussing tables.
yeah.
The problem is
Absolutely.
that those are like true
Those are
mom and
always,
pop
like-
restaurants.
You
This
know,
is a franchise.
And there is a
There's guidelines.
massive dichotomy
Yeah.
from a small store where that's a necessity
They're
Absolutely.
very-
to you have a national franchise, a national
absolutely.
corporation
Yeah, hiring
as your
processes
Yeah.
establishment.
are
And that is the
insane.
difference right there.
The
Absolutely.
hiring
So it's
guidelines.
two worlds collide, and the bigger fish is going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so like whenever you start at a new restaurant, it's like this was the story at Bluefuse, where they break their arm jerking themselves off. Like, oh, I was working in restaurants at 12 years old. I made my way up to kitchen manager at 16. I was head chef at 6 or 17. And it's like, you have to start young to have that awesome story. That's probably a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
I started very young, but I also started working at Culver's. And
right, and that's what. How old can you work there?
I had to be 15, but I had to have
15?
a work permit too.
Yeah.
I had to go physically get a little piece of paper that said that I was capable of working. And then, it just took off from there.
Do you still have that piece of paper?
No, I don't have that piece of paper. Why?
I don't know, I would like to see that you're capable of working here.
Are you still permitted for work, Travis?
Does that last for your lifetime? Do you have to renew?
I'm the best worker ever.
Does that apply to lifetime childs?
I totally get it. I mean, 9 years old, meh. Whatever. But to the other point of Seabass's point, though, like those hiring processes and just the guidelines and like the shit set forth by the franchise company, just to have people in that building are fairly strict and thorough.
Well, they've created this demand with this chicken sandwich that they put out that apparently people are murdering for.
Yeah, it's a thing, dude.
The world we live in.
And for them, I don't know. I think for them to like just fire one of their employees because for whatever reason they couldn't get childcare. They found a creative solution that cost you nothing.
Right. Well, you got to think they're being stretched so
Probably
thin.
made you money.
But
What are you going to do? You're going to be resourceful.
So to kind of tag on to
I think
one of our early
it's
episodes, though,
totally
it's like,
chicken shit on
when do you stand
Popeyes part.
behind your employee? You know what I'm saying, and not hang them out to dry. You know what kind of situation? Where is that line drawn? Because I'm seeing hung out to dry. When in actuality, the motherfuckers put their damn kids up there on their line to help make your motherfucking money. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they're doing whatever it takes to keep that afloat and keep that moving.
Yeah, I mean that's a spur of the moment thing,
right?
I mean when you're not on there, down in the in the trenches taking grenades, like do you know what it's like to have like a swarm of people just take over the entire restaurant? And you're standing in the middle of it, and we have to make this shit work for the next hour and a half,
And consistently.
Yeah.
You got to be on top of it.
Yeah.
The pressure's on.
Yeah.
And also, my question is how are you even staffing these restaurants that, people are seeing that?
The onus should not be on a 9-year-old kid to fill that labor gap.
Right.
Come in there, yeah.
That's also the question, was that owner there and present during this,
I was wondering if the owner was there and if the owner okayed it. Like if it was one of the owner's kids, like a kid who's probably going to end up taking this restaurant over at some point.
Well, it said in the article
not anymore.
It said in the article that Popeyes talked with the owner and the owner fired the employee.
Okay.
Right.
So it wasn't. I mean, maybe there was some relation like otherwise.
Yeah.
But it wasn't directly their kid. So it's like, yeah.
I mean, I say get the kids working young anyway, so I don't even care.
Wow. I mean,
It's long.
my first job, I had a paper out at like what?
Yeah.
10?
Yeah.
11?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Earlier a child starts to learn responsibility,
sure.
the better they're going to be off.
I was definitely middle school, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked at my grandparents' art gallery, in cashiering.
42.
In Holland.
All art made out of stones.
Sorry, Sebastian.
It's just going to come up every single podcast.
Tell us about your weird blood disease.
It's
You have a blood disease?
not that I know of. Is this an awkward start to a confession?
So do we date him based on his name, or why are you from?
I am
Renaissance?
from every time and no time.
I don't know. He has that thing where it's like he kind of has like baby face and old face at the same time.
He's like Benjamin Button at the middle of his life.
He also just knows everything about everything.
I love that. Tell me more, Sir Sebastian.
He's actually Merlin. I think we came to the conclusion. He's Merlin.
All right, so I'm just gonna
article
article paper out at 10 years old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Paper route. 10 years old. No health insurance.
Interview?
Under my parents.
Interview.
It's a dangerous job.
Paper
Just out on the
route.
bike.
You know, honestly, it was. I had to wake up like at 4 o'clock in the morning. The papers would
Did
get
you have
delivered by
proper
this
lighting? Reflective
Wait, did you
Street
say
lights.
4 o'clock in the morning?
Okay, so this is how it worked. So this guy would come around in his van, not creepy.
Yep.
One door open, maybe someone in the back. They'd have these bundles of paper. They'd throw them out. So I'd get a couple bundles. Then I'd have to roll them, package them in the bags,
Oh man.
figure out my route, and then bike. And like bike to all these houses. The nice thing is like it was all throughout my neighborhood, and then like I had a couple hot spots. So like I had a grandma who would like give me cookies, or like it was kind of interesting because then I learned the lives of these people, and I just delivered papers to them at 10.
How much did you get paid for that?
I did. Not much, literally, at all. My paychecks, I remember, were like $20 to $30.
Jesus Christ. Was that
Yes.
weekly or bi-weekly?
So that was, I believe, weekly, maybe bi-weekly. But also, mind you, they got delivered at 4. I was up at 6. I remember biking in the winter. I remember some of the places I'd have to like trek all behind, go through weird doors, and find the place to put it. It was aggressive.
Oh,
Not a lot of money either.
yeah.
No, it really wasn't. But
Sounds
as
like
a kid, I'm
child
like, sweet.
slavery,
I
basically.
guess.
What am I
yeah.
gonna, whatever. But this is also back when what? I don't know.
Back when newspapers were relevant.
Yeah, that's
Late
very true.
90s, I would
Yeah,
guess. Early 2000, maybe 97,
Yeah.
98,
Yeah.
right around there.
You've seen F is for Family?
Yeah.
On that, just shades of Billy, just all over that story.
I love that.
So I guess that's as good an intro as any. So we first met at a restaurant.
Yeah.
You actually got me hired there.
Well, we first met being neighbors, and then I got you hired there.
Yes.
But
yeah,
you worked at
that's straight
Fridays when I
true.
met you.
correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got me like I don't know. You got me my first real restaurant job, I guess.
Sure did.
Yeah.
I entered you in,
Yeah.
So she took your virginity. She popped your cherry, right?
you know?
No.
Damn.
I saw a lot of potential.
No.
I saw a lot of potential. I was like, this kid, he needs a chance.
This guy here.
I'm going to get him.
Edit.
I'm going to really get him for the next 10 to 15 years of his life. I'm
Nice.
going to make him really love his life.
Okay.
And look where he is today.
Welcome, service industry.
Yeah.
Where your hopes and dreams may happen or may be completely squashed.
Yes. All right. So
Yes.
that.
Yes.
So you found a way out of the service
I
industry.
did.
Katrina, and that is really why we have you here.
Yes.
Because you are a small business owner. And
I am.
You are a salon owner.
Yes.
You cut people's hair professionally.
I do.
And I assume you make pretty good money doing it.
Yes, I would say I do. But obviously, with busting my ass and
Yeah.
making everything
Yeah.
happen as a one-man show.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And more than that, I guess, intrinsically, you're kind of living your dream.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely its ups and downs. But my dream definitely is being my own boss and having complete ownership of what I am doing.
Yeah.
Especially creatively, especially just through any of my professional work. Like it's hard for me to give up ownership to other people. I've worked for many of people, and honestly, I just feel like I'm just kind of that lone wolf that needs to
Control.
fly and do my thing, you know?
Those famous flying wolves.
No one knows flying pigs. It's
I
flying
actually
wolves.
like the idea of a flying wolf. So
So I guess mostly
Like any
I
wolf.
have one question for you, and
Yeah.
it's how.
How did I do it?
How did you escape the daily grind?
Yeah.
Get educated, pay your bills,
Sure.
get licensed, and
God,
yeah.
it's a long story.
It is-
it's a
it
very
is.
long story.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's kind of amazing even to say that I'm even to this point. Well, going back to like service industry, I had to back up, I had my paper route. And then
great.
I worked for my dad's construction business all through high school, but I also worked at IHOP after school. And that was my first official like serving job. I did that and loved and hated it. And then, so I kind of worked my way through, worked at Melio's for a while, delivered subs, worked at a couple factories, worked at a couple other restaurants. Then ultimately got laid off in 2008. I was working at this screen printing company, and this was down in Milton by Janesville, where I grew up. And got laid off. It was, during the recession, and It was really hard hitting. I was 19. I had a super bomb job. I was QC, doing all this stuff, making super great money. Didn't even I first went to school to be an EMT, dropped out, was like, nope, that's not me. Got this job, making a bunch of money, got laid off. So I'm like, well, what the fuck do I do? So I was living in Milton, down by Janesville. There's nothing but, it was all automobile industry and chain restaurants and nothing that I saw fitting for me. So I decided to move to Madison. I was also going to school online for psychology at the time, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And that wasn't working. I didn't really have much money, wanted to find a trade. So I decided to move to Madison and go to cosmetology school. And all the while, I still was jobless. So I started school, moved up here. Then I was looking for a job. My sister was working at Texas Roadhouse. She transferred up from Janesville. So I was like, screw it, I'll go back to serving. And that's when I found Bluefees.
Yeah.
And then I started working at Bluefees. I was going to school at the same time. Hustled through that, worked full-time and went to school full-time for about 2.5, 3 years. And I also...
to cosmetology school?
Yeah, when I was in cosmetology school, I worked at Bluefees at the same time, all through that.
I remember.
And then even when I graduated cosmetology school, then I still worked at Bluefees part-time, and then kind of got my foot in the door, worked at a couple places, and then found a full-service salon that I started working at for 4 years. Ended up hating working for someone, also because it's very much so obviously customer service oriented.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of parallels compared to serving and bartending and also doing someone's hair.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
catering to them and catering to the most, basic human needs. And those are things that people will do anything for.
Yep.
And also be the most particular about. So it's very hard. But with that being said, I just decided that I had enough time under my belt that, I really didn't want to work for anybody. And I decided to just branch out and do my own thing. And I took the leap of faith because I saw other people doing it. And I was like, well, screw it. We live in the day and age where you've got so many resources. And I just had to look up how to do it and
Go do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
And I forced myself to do it. And it wasn't easy. But I was lucky because I have a partner that I share my space with. And I had worked with her for about 4 years at a prior location. And her and I worked really well together. We decided to both go out on our own, so we used each other as resources.
Okay.
But we are both sole proprietors. We both run our own show, but we just share our space essentially. And I think that was also crucial because I had that rock also.
Like a person to lean on. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think that also attributed to some of my success as well as having that too. Because, yes, I'm alone, but also you still always need that, little bit of team essence to it.
Sure.
No, I completely agree.
But, yeah, there's the long story, guys.
It's all good.
No, yeah, it's
That's
great.
Absolutely perfect. I mean, first of all, congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I'm trying to do some of the same exact stuff.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I get my hair cut twice, once a week.
Yeah.
Way too much.
Well, I see the designs. I see the fade. I see you got to keep that crisp
I
and
do
clean.
it once a week.
Yes.
So yeah, absolutely.
I swear to God, I ask him to hang out like once a week. He's like, I can't, man. I'm getting my hair cut. It's like,
And
It's a
when he comes to work in a bad mood, 99% of the time it's like, fucking had to reschedule my hair appointment.
No, it's totally true. I mean, my barber, I gotta make sure I got my shit like 2-3 weeks out.
It's a
Yeah.
Saturday. I
I'm
was
not
supposed to
gonna
be
get 'em.
looking
You
fresh.
gotta
and now I
prepare
have to
for
be
that,
looking
right?
fresh
And you do.
Monday.
You do.
And, I'm more of I let my barber kind of just help me find a look, you know. So but that's also a lot of like, you know, when I bartend, a lot of people are like, you know, hey, yeah, you know, this is what I like.
Yep.
This is like what I have in my mind,
Yep.
and then
You're the curator.
formulate something that they can like.
Absolutely.
He takes a Bob Ross approach. Just happy little accidents, no mistakes. Just happy little accidents. We're just gonna flow with it.
It's true.
Bob Rossing a cocktail.
Ooh.
Bob Ross and a haircut.
Dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
Bob
where's
Rossing
that
a
Bob Ross
haircut.
look?
We can look into that for next time.
Maybe that could be a thing.
I think so.
You know, Bob Ross had a big ol' afro, right?
Yeah.
Well, yes.
I know. I used.
If
to
you
have
don't
one,
know
so,
that.
yeah, I used to have a very large one.
Just shame
But
on me.
So,
well, I had also tried to get out of the industry too. I actually left for 2 whole months this summer.
Okay.
I took myself off the schedule.
you know what? I guess in restaurant time, that is a
That
nice
is huge,
reprieve.
2 whole
though.
months.
Yeah.
I was like,
And how did you feel? Free?
it was amazing. I started working for like this startup company. It was a lead generating company. I was ecstatic because all I had to do was call people, get them to, you know, hey, get an insurance quote from my guy.
Yeah.
Here's why.
Yep.
That's all. It
Do what
was.
Travis
Like,
does
this-
best. Just talk people
just
to
talk to people
Yep.
and just get them to. Yeah, okay, I'll get a quote by you. Cool.
I mean,
all right.
Totally.
Like restaurant life, he was still, or service industry life, he was still only like stage 1 out of getting out of the service
Yeah,
industry because he was still on call.
Yeah.
He was-
Still,
he
yeah,
was-
I never,
he was
I
off
didn't,
the
like,
schedule, but he was still-
took myself off the schedule.
But he,
I
Got
went
it.
down
that meant he worked
still-
weekends.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was a time where I was just completely off the schedule. I
Nice.
didn't
But you
have
were
a
still on call. Like if they
No,
needed
well,
help.
no, I would pick up shifts if I wanted to, but it was
Okay.
a solid 2 months where I did not have to work Friday or Saturday.
But
Yep.
the ball was in your court.
Yeah,
and you just
yeah.
kept it there.
I just kept it there because of like I knew I was
Sanity.
taking a risk leaving in the first place for this, and this had to work out, and it didn't work out.
You need a
So
fallback.
I have a fallback. So now didn't work out. Now I came back, picked up a couple shifts, and now I'm able to pick up shifts whenever. The only one I'm truly responsible for is Saturday. I mean, I was kind of hoping to, you know, move away from completely, like from the
I guess
service.
That's also
I hear
that's
you
also
though.
what my
I totally
roommate
hear
is
you on
doing.
that
Yeah.
because I feel that even in my position right
you
now
still
because
stand
I
there
feel at
all
the beck
damn
and
day.
call.
You're at people's beck and
And
call.
that's exactly it, you
And
know?
you have new problems like hair all over
Yeah.
yourself.
My roommate.
Thank
Not
you.
your hair.
Oh my God. Thank you for saying
Like,
that
no,
because
thank
that is
you.
a daily struggle.
I'm a
you
clean
find it
person,
in
yeah.
places you're just like,
it's always in the
oh,
bra.
I love it's always,
Yeah.
always. And I'm like, I love that I take a piece of my client home with me every single
That's
night.
gross.
In places I don't want them to see.
Man,
And it's terrible. Yes. It's hard.
I've dated like 4 or 5 hairdressers.
So you know.
Yeah.
It's like these
It's-
little prickers that just get
Can
engraved.
you imagine just taking off her bra?
I've never done it,
Can you
but I always
imagine
want to
me
be
taking
like,
my own
whose
off
hair
and
is on?
imagining like I just some days want to cry because
I
I'm
would
just
be
like
so upset.
But yes, it's hard.
Yeah.
It is definitely because there are days, more days than not. I hate to admit that I feel very drained because you're constantly giving to other people. You know, you're constantly having to be on top of their needs,
Yeah.
constantly having to be ahead of them, thinking ahead of them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, to satisfy them,
Yeah,
right?
to do your job well.
And
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of all these markets being so saturated with everybody being able to do anything these days, right? That you kind of have to always be a step ahead. And
Yeah.
that is very draining in
It's
itself.
key. Yeah.
With any customer service,
Yeah.
though.
And it's like
I don't care
my
where you're at.
roommate is
Absolutely.
like halfway between you because he is still actively bartending, you know, a couple shifts a week at the restaurant that we work at, but also he works as a hairstylist.
But he's not working for himself, right?
But he's not working, which is why he's halfway
Sure.
between you.
He's got
So
one
that's why
foot
he's
in, one
halfway.
foot
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
But he's
But also there are
he's
parallel
not
motivations
out
there
of
because
school.
that's-
He's
That's always the goal, you know.
But he's out of school. It's the next step. He's out of school now. He's in
Well,
his
you do
own
have to do
place.
that,
And-
yep.
Exactly. But
why-
that's why I said he's halfway.
That's why
in
we
between.
started
And
the
you're
podcast.
totally right.
So
You're
we
totally right.
We can be our own bosses.
Right. I mean, isn't that the goal
be
for
dope.
anybody to live your true passion the way you want to with
So-
nobody telling you how
So
to do
yeah,
it?
I have
Right?
something
Hello.
to say about that, actually. It really depends on what you want to do. I actually did own a business growing up from like 18 to like 26. It was a cleaning company.
Okay.
Worked with it for my mom ever since I was 11. We took it over as soon as I graduated high school. And it was just a cleaning business.
Yeah.
Service business.
Yeah.
I did clean for people, scrub people's toilets, do cold calls. Hey, man, just want to see if I can give you a better price to scrub your toilets. That's all. And, like, it was also a lot of work because, we tried to expand. We tried to make it of a size that was somewhat, obtainable. Like, we were up to $250K a year, which is pretty decent in sales. And then we kind of took over, but we were also running the crews. We were cleaning. We were right there. We were on site every time.
Yep.
So what are you saying?
So I'm saying that it's with the overhead, the inventory, the bills, the employees, the payroll,
Right.
the sales.
Yes.
You're responsible for all that, and what people tend to do is they just, you get sucked into it really hard. And your work day is no longer like a bartending shift.
Right.
Your work day is
you can clock
all
out from.
day.
All the time.
There is no clocking out from
Right.
it. Not at all.
No.
You're going to get emails, customers, hey, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? You got to fix shit. You got to,
Yeah.
oh, man, your car breaks down and you can't run, we couldn't run crews the way we needed to, or equipment's breaking, stuff like that. So, I mean, it
There's a
can
lot
be
of
a lot
sacrifices
bigger,
for that.
headache. Yeah,
Yeah.
the payoff is going to be a lot more, but the grind is going to be there for a few years.
Always, yes. And few years and always, no matter what.
Well, that's assuming that if you can try and get it up to a point to where it just kind of it works like a well-oiled machine. Yeah, you're going to do your day-to-day, but if you have everything oiled up nicely, there's not going to be too many things that's going to blow up your day. Like if equipment goes, you have a fund set aside to cover it right away, immediately, so it doesn't affect any type of production, stuff like that. Because then it'll be a little bit easier. You won't have to worry about it because you're going to be spending a solid amount of time basically preparing yourself for any of those things that can go wrong.
Absolutely.
And if you get it right, that shit'll just roll, and then you might not even need to be at the,
So I guess
the office.
we can kind of leap off of that to tell like the listeners, like, what does it take to start your own business? Which you two are uniquely qualified.
Sure.
Yeah.
Actually, it's actually really easy. It's really, really
You
easy.
just said
The steps are
it takes a
easy,
lot,
but-
and then you said it's really easy.
No, like you
On
go, you
paper,
go get
looks like it could be
You go
easy,
get yourself a tax ID number,
Yep.
which is like a business social security
EIN.
number.
Yep.
And then you got to make sure you put get whatever insurances you might need.
Yep.
Any type of certificates you need so that
Permits,
you can
seller
operate, permits,
permits,
stuff like that.
business
which
tax
is all just
registration.
paperwork. You just send it all in, blah blah blah. They give it to just about anybody.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's quite easy. You go
But then
Wisconsin.gov,
Yeah.
revenue.wisconsin.gov,
Okay. So
file for your LLC. You start there.
Yep.
okay.
Then you do
And
your
if you know an
EIN.
accountant,
You also want that,
yeah,
right?
I have
Yeah.
my aunt's an accountant. I could just tell her I'm starting a business, and she can have me all that information
Yeah.
within a week.
I mean, really,
Like, just
the
done and
main
done.
point is you have to have an LLC,
Yeah.
no matter what, regardless, in the
Okay.
state of Wisconsin. And then you have to obviously be registered with the federal government for tax purposes. And then what else do you need? Obviously, your permits and all
Insurance
that,
is
your
huge,
licenses, your insurance.
Okay, so you need a permit. You
Yep.
need insurance. You need an LLC.
Yep.
What exactly is an LLC?
Limited liability company.
Okay.
Yep. So really, you could be an individual, or you could be a company up to a couple employees, maybe up to 20. All depends on literally what your revenue is and what you're
Okay.
considered under a federal tax bracket.
Yep.
So once you kind of start at the bottom of the totem pole as an LLC. Then you can move up to a C Corp, which is basically a corporation.
That's cool.
Or S Corp, yep. And then moving up to your traditional corporation.
All right. And then I guess another thing that I'm really curious about is your business requires a retail space.
It does, yep. So I hold a seller's permit because of that.
Okay.
And that's really all I needed. And that's something that you can also file through the Wisconsin Department of Financial Services. And as long as you are up, once you apply, you are then able to, apply tax to anything that you sell. And then obviously year end, you pay that in to the state.
Yep.
Yep.
Which is also another thing as far as your books and your taxes
Right.
go. For
On top
owning
of
your own
accounting,
company.
that's definitely something. Really, first and foremost, find a good accountant.
Yep.
Find someone who is going to assist you.
Absolutely.
I run most of my things through QuickBooks, and then I have an accountant oversee everything as
Yep.
well.
Okay.
Yep.
You want to have somebody there.
And
Absolutely.
then for your purposes, and this is what's great about you, is you're just tremendously interpersonal. So can you speak on establishing a clientele and maintaining those relationships a little bit
it's
too?
one thing to establish a business, but how do you
sustain it?
Kept it up?
Yeah. Well, I think first and foremost, creating my own brand and sticking to that, having my own culture.
A focused identity.
Yep, a focused, very much so a focused identity. And also really, I think working really off of the core values of any customer service and being very genuine. And I think that is the key, especially being in this modern day of losing that personal touch, especially in my industry, that is huge.
Yeah.
So I think, a lot of mine is really creating deeper connections with the clients that I have. Starting off as far as building that clientele, it was a lot of networking. People that I knew, I started with them, and then referral based, and then putting myself out there.
Yeah.
And then really, kind of planting the seed and nurturing it and letting it grow. And it's all relationship based. It really is. So
Mostly word
I
of
think,
mouth or-
yep. And then just creating those relationships that sustain. I now, at this point, I've been doing hair for almost
that
10
includes
years.
sort of inter business or intercommercial.
What was that?
Like intercommercial relationships, as well as
Yeah.
as well as a clientele, being
Absolutely.
well connected as far as not even so much other hair salons, but businesses around the area.
Well, I think it's crucial. I think it's crucial for any small business to, support each other and build each other's business that way too. And I think that that's also been critical in building that clientele, because you create trust in your brand, but you also create trust within that network. And when people see other brands partnering together, they're going to gain more trust in that anyways, because they see that there's a force there, and I think that that is really impactful.
Completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Completely.
And that's kind of my goal. I work solely now, but my ultimate goal is to kind of create a one consciousness of, wellness and beauty for people to kind of have as essentially one-stop shop.
This isn't a one for one. It's just sort of one aspect in a whole spectrum
Right.
or web of
Yes.
things that are necessary.
Absolutely. Yep. And it's a constant evolution of that. Yes, I started, so I've been in business for 3 years now almost. And I have this vision here now, but, that's going to continue to evolve. Going back to, being in the service industry and being customer service, the wear and tear physically is taxing. So I have to think more strategically and mentally of what's sustaining through this company and what I'm doing and where it can take me long term in that.
Which is crucial, and where a lot of people, especially now in this sort of age of exaggerated, being bought out by Google, sort of selling out the minute you get successful.
Yep.
And the exact opposite of that.
Right. And burnout is huge in both industries, not only service industry, but also my industry as well.
Yeah.
And so you have to be smarter than that. And you have to think, okay, well, clearly everyone's hit burnout easily in this, right?
Yeah.
So what can you do to get past that, but also still use these skills that you've created through doing this, because they are very valuable. And I think that they're the most valuable beyond what you could do in any industry. But how do you be strategic with that in the long-term plan?
finding
So
your
if you could give yourself, your younger self some advice,
Yeah.
like knowing what you've learned in the past decade,
Mm-hmm.
and like in working in restaurants and working, in cosmetology,
Yeah.
like what would that advice be?
Oh gosh, that would be hard, but I think I really honestly think don't get in the way of myself, because fear is the one thing that I struggle with, but I think just pushing past that and literally giving myself no other option. That's what I basically did. I was very miserable. I was at a very low point in my life when I decided that I was going to start my own business. And I took some big risks to do it. I was in a very rough area, but, honestly, you can only go up from being that low. So I was just like, screw it, I'm just going to do it. And I think that that's one thing that I would tell my younger self is, let that fear drive you. Don't let it hold you back. And honestly, like as corny as it is, the sky is the limit. Although every day I still do question that, but I keep pushing towards it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason that may be.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. Get the hell out of your own goddamn way.
Yeah,
Get
but
shit
easier
done.
said than done, right?
Yeah.
Like, aren't we all in our own heads?
Well, once you
Like
start
always?
doing it, you look back and you're like, well, that was easy.
That's very true. You're right, though. You're totally right. Because you're like, oh, all right.
Somehow you don't remember all the 4 a.m. nights.
No. No.
Well, it's more of like a mindset.
Those
It
times that you went
is.
for a
It
walk, like
is.
nowhere to go.
It totally is a mindset. And I think it's also getting out of your comfort zone, getting out of your patterns.
Yep.
It's so easy, I
Yep.
know, to get in this groove of, I'm going to go to work. Then I'm going to go out and have a couple drinks. Then I'm going to go do this. And then I'm going to repeat it the next day. And
Yeah.
we're just going to continue
Yep.
on.
And keep going. But
And-
how long can you do that for?
Well, so I
can't.
think
I've been doing it
like,
for a long time.
I can agree. I agree with that.
Like, I'm tired.
That's kind of the the message that I'm driving at here
Yeah.
is like, how do you monkey wrench your own life? You know?
Well, it all starts with an action, though. I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
The more you think about it and talk about it, you're just going to continue to sit there and think about it and talk about it, because you're going to try and keep reworking in your mind or whatever. Like, you have to at least start taking steps in that direction.
You have to know what
You
you're going
do.
to do, and
It's
you
like-
can't rely on some external catalyst
No.
Yeah.
to get you there. It is like
It's
you're
you.
your biggest roadblock, and you're
It's
in
like-
your own way until you aren't.
It's like
Absolutely.
coming to a fork in the road. You can see that city. You can see that city. You got to at least start walking steps this way
Or-
Travis is
to
paint-
get to
Right.
that.
Pain with his metaphor brush tonight.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good.
Great.
I thought it was
It's
a
a
pretty good way to
classic
put it.
metaphor,
you
and
know?
everyone
Like,
understands
Could you
Yeah.
use your colorful metaphors to describe each path a little
Oh,
bit more?
yes.
Well, no, that's the beauty of it. You don't know what those paths are going to be, but
No.
you still know you want to get to that city, so you're going to at least start walking
Well,
down
and
that
that's
path.
the
Okay,
key
so
is
at
knowing
the
what
beginning
city
of
you're
this-
going to. What's your why? Why
Yeah.
are you going there?
Yeah.
Did you start off with maybe I'll make this metaphor and I won't make this metaphor on separate paths? And you went down the metaphor path on this one?
Is it
Did he
like,
have a fork
Was it my
of that
bad?
metaphor?
Wait.
Did he fork the fork?
Again?
That was like a split decision.
You don't know what a metaphor is?
I do know what a
split decision.
metaphor is. I thought up of it, pictured it in my mind, I started talking about it.
He had a thought.
That's what I'm good at.
Take a minute.
Okay.
I need a cigarette, yeah.
Break.
Recording.
White mics on, safety first.
Why the mics gotta be white?
Huh?
You said white mics.
No, mics on, safety first. Funny story.
Did he not say white mics?
I did not
Pretty
say
sure you
white
just said
mics.
That's,
No.
that's what I heard.
On the story, or on the same website. No. All right, fine. We won't talk about it.
No. Travis has a story.
No, it was just another story from the thing I was
Please.
reading earlier
Regale us with your tale
about how this
of
old
woe
guy.
and sorrow.
Shut up.
All right, fine.
Hurry up. we're trying to be quick here. But they had black silverware, like plastic silverware, and this old guy would come in and tell all the servers and general managers there.
You're cut.
Oh my god!
If that wasn't a sign.
Let's just move on.
She ripped out your mic. Can I get a mic check from you real quick? Sorry, just want to make sure it's still working.
Noted.
Right in like your story.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, all right?
No, okay. Go on with the black silver.
Yeah, the black silver. This old guy would come in like once a month and just raise hell on how they should switch all their plastic silverware to white silverware.
Wait, seriously?
Because they got to keep the blacks down. Yeah.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Man.
Legit said that.
Yeah.
Wow.
This was an old guy?
Yeah, older guy. It was in the same line or feed
You
as
think-
the poop one with the.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Okay. Now run with me on this, all right?
Okay.
Do you think maybe that old man has since died and has been reincarnated as my dog? Who didn't want you to tell that story? And that's why
No.
she ripped out your microphone?
No.
That's
You
one
ashamed old guy.
that's one option.
You ashamed old guy, Raya.
That's funny.
All right.
All right, let's get this. Safety first, guys.
Thank you, Travi.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, so to wrap up the show, I have a little just desserts for us. Is that cool? Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Absolutely.
All right. So this is from Forbes magazine. This was published yesterday by just this absolute smoke show of a guy named Mike Solomon.
It's a cool name.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Micah.
Micah Solomon.
Even better. Even better.
Listen, I know
A
you're
step
listening.
above Mike.
I know you're listening. Sorry, Mr. Solomon.
Mike,
All
if
right?
you're listening, man.
Well, if you did see his
it's good.
picture, you would know that
It
he is
only
a smoke
goes down
show.
from here, all right? You chose to write this shit.
I kind of want to see this guy now.
He's got a presence. That's for sure.
Look at him.
Hey, I'm
Oh,
Micah.
yeah. Absolutely.
He looks like he runs a church that commits a lot of like currency fraud. You know?
That's true.
And what's your social security number?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
To be a member, you
Very-
must.
Sounds like
The
an Elmbrook
Lord
church to
is
me.
very concerned about your finances.
I actually know of a church like that. So,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So,
Micah, self-proclaimed author, consultant, influencer, thought leader.
Nice.
oh dear,
Is
Christ.
he just making shit up for
leader.
himself?
He's a
borderline cultist.
I mean,
I think
he's
that is,
self-proclaimed, right?
This
sign.
is direct from MicahSolomon.com. He's a thought leader and keynote speaker for Forbes magazine, contributor.
Oh dear.
Okay.
All right, cool.
He's got good personality. Is that what we're looking at?
So he
Probably
says,
not. So he's anyway.
So yeah, this article was published yesterday. It says, my boss wants to only hire great-looking customer-facing employees. A customer service consultant weighs in on this and other customer service questions. So he begins. Bass, actually, I'm going to have you read this.
Yeah, he's better at this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For editing purpose, all right?
Better up, Seabass.
Okay.
My boss wants to only hire great-looking customer-facing employees. A customer service consultant weighs in on this and other customer service questions. I get asked between 1.5 and 3 million questions about customer service every month, or at least it feels that way, yet I don't mind a bit. It is my favorite subject, after all. Sometimes these questions come up in my professional capacity as a customer service consultant and customer service turnaround expert.
Okay.
Sometimes they're just from a friend who knows I'm obsessed with this stuff.
One, that's his favorite subject.
Yeah, that's what.
It's his,
after all,
It's his
Yeah.
favorite thing.
Yeah.
He says, I mean, the first thing it says under here is customer service consultant, keynote speaker.
Yeah.
So
yes, favorite subject of all time.
that's just the first paragraph, boys and girls. Okay, so first question. Would you resolve this for us? Do name badges improve or detract from customer service? We have a raging internal debate here at my company with nobody giving an inch.
That's a good one.
Do you want to comment on that?
I kind of do.
Okay.
I used to tell my name a lot, and then ever since like people they ask you what's your name, like Travis, and then it's like that's just what you hear.
It's a weapon that they use against you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Travis is our guy.
Yeah.
Travis is gonna take care of us. Hey Travis, Travie, hey Trav.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It makes it personal.
It's like, all right, I'm done with this.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I honestly give customers fake names.
Do you really?
Yeah. I tell people I'm not gonna say that.
No, don't. Just leave it a mystery, please.
So all right. So what does Micah have to say?
Mr. Micah Solomon replies, so arguments that some customer service professionals make against name badges include name badges create a formal barrier between customer and employee. So they feel like you're more of a peer-to-peer relationship rather than a customer-client relationship.
Sure.
Like you guys were saying, employees worry that their names are going to be tarnished on social media or whatever reviews websites. Employees inevitably forget their name badges from time to time and end up need to borrowing somebody else's. So it works in favor
Seen
sometimes
that
of you though. And it's unfashionable. So who wants a pin in the middle of their sleek
So
uniform?
what is the answer to the question?
No name tag.
No name tag.
No name tag?
No name tag.
Well, he also gives some pros in that mostly it's sort of like the name. It helps build that, first impression.
Yeah.
Sort of like, okay, well, at least I know you now.
Yeah, but I also believe that the introduction helps build the rapport. So if that's what's going to happen, then I think.
But if they can see the name, then they
introductory.
immediately have something to personalize you. But it's like basically he doesn't decide for us. It's like this is not an answer I would proclaim as the one right way to go for every business situation. Apparently, he's written more about the name badge debate.
Oh my god.
My boss has been hinting that he wants me to hire only great-looking women to work at the front desk of our spa. Sounds wrong to me. Gobsmacked in Geneva.
How do you feel about that?
Dear Gobsmacked,
Well, hold on, yeah.
your boss is on the wrong track.
No. Hold on. The boss only wants to hire good-looking women to helm the spa.
The front
Work
desk,
at the
right?
front desk at the spa.
Okay.
I mean, so I'm. How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about that? Well, that's touchy. It really is. Because obviously you want to be and you want to give equality to your employees. You want to give every person, regardless of their looks, an equal chance. Maybe from his point of view, he wants that first impression to be the best. And sadly, people are most attracted to attractive people. And then it's easier. But however, there's so much more that goes to that it's just like, no, that doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Of course, everyone loves pretty people, but also that still doesn't work.
What do you feel about that, Travis?
I mean,
like when you go get your toes done.
keep my toes done.
His bi-weekly petty.
Well, she kind of touched on it.
Bi-weekly. He's gonna
No, it's right. It happens every week right after the haircut.
Oh yeah, is it? Oh, it's every
I've had a
week.
zero lively petty.
I've never had. Yeah, I don't like feet.
Maybe we should do that next week. Let's go get some mini
I'm
petties.
not going to go get
Do a live one.
We're doing it
Do
for the
live
podcast.
at-
All right.
I'll get a man.
This is your job now.
It's for my hands. My feet are my feet. I like my feet. Leave my feet
Anyway,
alone.
hot girl at the spa.
Anyway, I was just gonna touch on just like how apparently like what is attractive to people, what people respond to, and if you do pay attention to that to help try and make sure that those people enjoy being in your building, sometimes you might be put in a position to somewhat have like that weigh in on your decision. It doesn't need to be extreme. It's not like you have to have like supermodels, you know what I'm saying? But like do they take care of themselves? I don't necessarily think that has to be a woman,
Right.
but do they hold themselves well?
Does
do
their
they
image
carry
appeal to
themselves
that
well?
brand,
Exactly.
that company?
Goes a little bit deeper, but I mean, yeah, of course especially at something like a spa, you probably want somebody who's, appealing to the eye to talk to.
But that
people
shouldn't be
open up
the
to 'em.
one and only factor.
No.
Oh,
Or
not
the,
at all.
The one exclusionary factor.
Absolutely.
I don't
Whether
think
they
it should
get
be.
hired
think
or not.
There's so much
That's
more to
that's a little
it.
extreme,
Especially
right?
because customer service,
Yeah.
I mean, being good looking is, you make a good first impression, but customer service is the whole interaction, not just the first impression.
What if we're
Exactly.
talking
That's
about a
the
strip
lasting
club, though?
impression.
Okay, we're not talking about strip club. Don't get
Different customer service. Way different.
Okay,
Still
That's a
customer
different
service.
episode.
I think like we're missing the point here though, in that this boss is perpetually having to hire front desk people.
Because
That's the subtext.
that's
here.
kind of that's a bit
Well,
much.
I mean, okay, so why? Why is there
Why?
that turnover?
Because he only hires hot women and then he creeps them out.
Well, and that's exactly, I'm
they
sure, what it
creeps
is,
him out.
right?
I didn't
So
know
it's
that
for
part.
his
I mean-
purposes, maybe, that he only wants to see
Yeah,
hot
then that's-
women up
then
there.
that's
It's
messed
not
up.
the
Yeah.
customer
I mean,
and what
okay, okay,
his
that's
market's
messed up,
looking
yeah.
for. It's him.
Yeah.
Okay, can we just put it all on the table? Like the three of us have never been to a spa,
Sure.
Like if you go
I've
to a
cleaned a
spa,
spa.
Yes.
like do you want to see a hot lady behind the front desk?
Honestly, it does not matter.
Yeah, who
it
gives a
really
shit,
does
right?
not matter because I'm going there for an experience. And that front desk person, yes, she gives me a small part of it. Yes, the first impression is, it is crucial. However, that's not going to be my deciding factor
It's not gonna be the nail
on
in the
how I
coffin.
interact or come out of that experience.
Perfect.
Well said.
So this guy's wrong.
100%.
Exactly.
I don't even care what Mike
However,
has to say about
how many employers base their crew off of these things?
And
know?
that sounds like the makings of a part 2 of Katrina as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's next
because
episode.
that's a truth.
Yeah.
How many employers are
Something
actually
to talk about.
right?
I
mean-
totally agree with that.
We're not going to find anyone who's going to admit to that.
Well, nobody's
Nobody's going to admit, but we
admit to
see it.
but yeah,
We've
you'll
observed
be. I mean,
it.
there are tall.
Maybe we've
tall
been a part
tale
of it,
signs,
right?
Like that dude only hires hot women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what are the guidelines of Hooters?
Yep.
Strictly
exactly.
hot women.
Yep. Then
Company policy. So there's that.
You know what? That's actually a fairly good point because Hooters is like circling the drain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because our generation apparently doesn't care about tits.
Damn.
We want that ass.
Just
Slide over
disappointing.
Hooters. We're looking for buns.
Or maybe
call it buns from now on.
Buns.
So
There you
speaking
go.
This is Drew's trolling for pussy hour.
The new.
Maybe we just
Hooters.
respect
Hooters.
women more than that.
all right, so
Turn
speaking
it
of the
around.
tail ends of
Bend over,
things,
spit it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
What?
Do Hooters.
You gotta keep up with the
Chicken
times.
wings or buns.
Yeah.
Donuts.
That was the whole thing.
Croissants.
We sell thighs only, boy.
Ooh,
gotta
chicken and
wrap this up
waffles.
somehow,
You
though.
ever heard of a
Chicken
chicken
and
and a bun?
Yeah.
I know. That's why I said speaking of tail ends.
'Cause I got. All right, so that was Micah Solomon. Yeah, stellar article.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Really inspiring.
Yeah,
to
no, truly.
turn around that customer service of ours.
Changed my life.
Wait, I cannot wait to see your next keynote speak. God.
All right. Well,
Thank
Good.
you,
Wait.
Katrina.
Yeah.
good business talks.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yes. Big thanks to our guest Katrina.
Well, guys, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank
course,
you. You're so very
anytime.
welcome, etc., etc.
We'll
Yeah.
be sure to have you back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we
I
already
would
got our
love
next
to-
talk down.
Love to have
That's what we're doing.
Natural
presents around
face.
yours.
Okay. Jesus
Study up.
Christ, guys. All right. Thanks, everybody. All right,
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.